Greetings, friends. Today we continue our free Flutter course, and in this lesson, we'll look at how to implement data editing in Firestore. To begin, let's implement a method for editing data in our repository. It will be of type future, as it takes time. As a parameter, it should accept an ID. This is needed to change data for a specific user by accessing them via their ID. The ID will be of type string since Firestore automatically generates it in this format. Next, it will accept name and age, just like the first method. We'll also declare it as async so we can use await. Now, let's modify the data using an instance of Firebase Firestore. First, we need to access the required collection by its name. In this case, it's the user's collection. Next, unlike the add call we used in the method for creating a user, we will simply access a specific document by its ID. To do this, we use the doc method, passing in the user's ID, or more precisely, the ID of the document containing the user's information. This method returns an object of type document reference. This object has methods like delete, get, set, update, and so on. In this case, we need the update method. This method accepts a map, just like the add method. So, let's now pass our map of values that need to be updated into this method. Keep in mind that the update method is a future, so we need to use the await keyword. Thus, we've added to our repository a method that updates user information by their ID. Next, let's add a special button to our list tile element. When clicked, it will open a dialog where we'll have the ability to edit the user. For this, we can use the trailing parameter. This parameter accepts a widget that will be displayed on the right side of our element. We'll pass in an icon button widget, which we're already familiar with. This will be an edit icon. In the onTap method, we need to open a dialog with the ability to edit data, but I suggest we do the following. We won't create a new dialog, but instead use the existing one that we use for creating users. We'll add functionality so that it populates the fields with the data of the specific user. To do this, let's declare a nullable field in this class. It will be of type userModel. Notice that we don't use the word required when passing it to the constructor. We made it nullable and didn't use required because we want this dialog to be used both for creating users, without passing userModel, and for editing, passing userModel so that the input fields are pre-filled with data. Now, let's override the initState method. In this method, we'll ensure that if a userModel was passed to this widget, its data will be inserted into the text fields. For this, we first check that our field is not null. Notice that we access it through widget because it resides in it. Next, we'll set the value of our controller's text field using the data from our user field. We can safely use the exclamation mark since we're sure it won't be null. However, when we try to do the same with the age, we'll encounter an error. This is because the age field is an int, while the text field is a string. To avoid a type conflict, we need to convert the age to a string using the toString method. Now, let's trigger this dialog when the edit icon is clicked, using the showDialog method. Note that we'll pass the current user as a parameter. We'll also pass a callback on submit. This is the beauty of callbacks. We can use the same widget for different purposes since we can perform different actions when the submit button is clicked. Here, we have access to the name and age entered by the user. In this callback, we'll call the method we wrote today for editing. We'll pass the current user's ID as well as name and age from the parameters. And don't forget to use await. Now, let's test our app. As we can see, an edit icon has appeared. When clicked, the dialog opens, which we used for creating a user. But now, it's pre-filled with the data of the user next to whom we clicked the icon. Let's try changing some values and click Submit. As we can see, our user immediately displays the updated values. As we mentioned in the previous lesson, this happens instantly without the need for a reload because our app is subscribed to the stream of data from the user's collection, and therefore, when any data changes, our app automatically re-renders everything inside the stream builder. Thus, today we implemented data editing in Firestore. For homework, I suggest you implement data deletion yourself by adding another icon on the right. First, you'll need to implement another method in the repository that will delete an item by its ID. Then, when the delete icon is clicked, this item will be removed. Here's a tip. You can pass a row to trailing. It's not necessary to pass only an icon button. But keep in mind that if you simply pass a row, it will cause an error. You need to pass the main axis size parameter to this row and set it to min. Don't worry if you can't complete the task. The solution and explanations will be in the next lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next lesson.